Welcome to Pat Gray Unleashed.
And we're off. So I guess we're officially into the Christmas season. All right. This is the third earliest you can be into the Christmas season, right? It was because Thanksgiving was on the 24th. The earliest it can be is the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the earliest. But it was the third earliest. So it's kind of fun.
I mean, Christmas for me started November 1st, quite honestly. I mean, things are so crappy.
For lot of people.
Let's just get it going here.
I've been blown away how many people already have, they're in full Christmas mode already. They've already got the decorations up. They've got the trees up. So we do too now, but I think we waited until, was it Thanksgiving Day? Maybe the day before we started putting up trees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people, yeah.
But a lot of people are ready for Christmas, that's for sure.
So today's Cyber Monday, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is where you're like...
Yes, it is.
The Black Friday equivalent for shopping online.
Right. Okay. And it also means that there's a 25% off Cyber Monday sale at Keksi.com. KEKSI.com. 25, that's our biggest sale ever. Friday and today. Biggest sale ever, so take advantage of that. Plus, we just dropped some really good gingerbread with icing on it. That'll sell out in about an hour, probably. So, Keksi.com if you'd like to try those cookies. And we noticed that, Keith, finally, the swelling went down.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Wow, we were concerned last week.
Had to get some anti-inflammatories in me.
Okay, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those bees do a number on me.
I didn't know if it was bees or water weight gain.
Yeah, well, it was a
little of both.
Yeah.
It's just good that it went away because that was frightening.
Yeah.
I was worried about you.
You're telling me.
I thought you were going to explode for a minute.
I had to look in a mirror. So you tell me who it was the worst for.
I know. Well, you, for sure.
Thank you.
But fortunately, you did not explode, even though you were obviously in danger of it.
I was in pain.
But it's good to see that you're a lot better now.
Thank you.
Joe Biden is not. Joe Biden had apparently a busy Thanksgiving weekend. He made an appearance behind a couple of little girls on Nantucket Island. This is absolutely bizarre.
So creepy.
Look at him peeking in the window there to these girls. Mm-hmm. The hell is that good? I mean, that's not photoshopped, right? Mm-mm. That's not. No, that's a real. Because my first thought was, oh, okay, that's a Photoshop. No, he actually did that.
Yep.
Where's the Secret Service and everybody when he's doing this?
I don't know. They're off to the side there, but that's those little girls should be thankful for panes of glass.
I know. He'd be all over their hair, sniffing it.
That is dangerously close to that old pervert.
Absolutely perverted.
Mm-hmm. Well,
creepy and perverted.
I don't know what's going on there.
Does he know these people?
No.
Why is he peeking in somebody's house?
He thinks it's charming. He's smiling. Well, he's not even smiling.
He's not.
No, he's not. But
he's not charming.
I think he's posing for the picture they're taking. I don't know.
When is this piece of garbage going to understand? He's not charming.
No.
He's not charming. He's not funny. He's not witty. He's just creepy, old, and decrepit. I can't stand it.
Don't jump.
Jeez. That's really weird. I mean, I've never seen the like of it. I don't know. That's amazing. It's reminiscent of when David Letterman did that bit with the White House. When, I think it was George W. Bush. He was giving a speech in the Oval Office about immigration, about the border, and 3 or 4 illegals came up and looked in the window.
That's good.
It's so great. And then turned around and started running. I mean, it was really a well-done bit. But that is not. That is just, I don't know what that is. Creepy, bizarre, and completely unwarranted. And unpresidential. Hey, you know what I think? I'm going to do is go creep on these girls and peek in their window. I think that's what I'm going to do. They can take a selfie with me in the background. Weird. Just really weird.
Yep. He would have touched him if he could have.
Oh, for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would have slobbered all over him if there wasn't a wall and a window in the way. Meanwhile, while he was on the island, he was asked about the U.S. men's soccer team's draw against. Yeah, they tied England last Friday.
Yeah, they got a couple ties under their belt.
So yeah, they tied Wales and they tied England, and
a grand total of 2 goals in both games now. 1-1, 0-0.
It just shows you how riveting soccer is, because a 0-0 tie, man, that has to be one of the most riveting soccer matches of all time.
Yeah, they had what seemed to be an insurmountable lead against Wales, 1-0.
Yeah, but then they came back somehow.
They blew it. Yeah, that's
blew a 1-0 lead.
Bad penalty, U.S. So they got to beat Iran tomorrow to make it on to the next round.
Yeah, they have to win. They have to win outright. A tie won't do it, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys. You have to score at least 1 goal.
and keep Iran from scoring.
Right.
At the same time. So, anyway, he was asked.
Yeah, you're the president of the United States. This was a really big deal to tie England, a very good team.
I'm not. England's ranked, what, 5th in the world?
I have no idea.
I don't know what we are, like 700. Actually, I think our soccer team is fairly highly ranked. Probably top 20, but not ranked as high as England, certainly. And yet, we tied them. Too bad we didn't beat Wales. That would have been nice. Because then we wouldn't be in this position where gotta win to move on. But he was asked about it. And look, I'm not a soccer fan either. I don't. But it's the World Cup. I at least know what's going on. I check on how the country is doing.
Yeah, the president might want to keep tabs on his national team, right?
Yeah, you might want to. When something this big is supposedly it's the world's biggest sporting event. If you don't include, for us, it's the Super Bowl, obviously. But for the rest of the world, it's the World Cup. That is their Super Bowl. That is their big deal. And so, it's become kind of a deal here. Kids play soccer, a lot of them, and, look up to the national team and try to emulate them. So, it would be a nice idea if the president knew what was going on. Here's what happened when he was asked about it.
Mr. President, USA tied with England. Tied with England.
Clueless. He has no idea what they're talking about.
He's looking for help here.
Yeah, so they tied. You can read his lips.
You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, you can hear him even. Unreal.
Okay, here we go. It's been over 20 seconds.
Game over?
Is the game over?
What's that?
Game over.
The game's over in time.
Yeah,
It's a
yesterday,
tie.
stupid.
0-0.
Yeah. I spoke to the team.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you
You
think
did?
of the result, sir?
I'd rather be 1-0, but it's good. They're tough. England's tough.
Wow. Is the game over?
So when the guy shows up
No, it's been a 24-hour game, Mr. President.
Yeah, well,
And it continues.
It's not cricket. But when the dude shows up to offer him some help and he tells him it's tied because, he can't say draw.
he didn't
because
know.
if he says it was a draw, then Joe would have been like, can I get a pen and paper then? So he has to say it's a tie, to which Joe doesn't realize that soccer can end in a tie, so he thinks the game's still happening. So when he finally talks back to the reporter, he has to say, is it still on?
Is the game on still? Is it still going? He doesn't even know what day it is.
He's so just terrible.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
Seriously, you can't give him any... No, I'm not giving him any slack on that because it's soccer.
Okay.
Even though it's a commie sport. I don't care. Everybody pays attention to it right now. At least a cursory attention.
He is so clueless.
He's awful. And he's gone. He's just plain... I mean, the guy just told you it was a tie. What do you mean is it still going on? What an idiot. Unbelievable. Back on Thursday, he called into the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, this is awesome.
There is all kinds of goodness going on here
This
with
is
the President
so
of the United
good.
States. Cut to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade phone call. Cut to.
Who work year-round at the Parade studio. Wait, guys, I think I'm getting a phone call. You know, I'm not one to take a phone call during TV.
This is
but
so
I
smooth.
think I should answer this one.
No, I don't think you should.
Hello, Mr. President?
And he's not there.
Listen. Listen.
I don't think I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. President? Yeah. Hello? Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. President. Are you there?
We're here.
I was so worried this call wasn't going to go through. How are you?
We're fine. We're fine. You're great. You're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. I love that you're watching like
You're
the...
good weather in the parade.
Okay. I got it.
I will take credit for that. Yes, thank you very much.
That's terrible.
I just figured out which part of the phone to talk into. Hello?
So good to talk to you. After I set up this cheesy bit and acted like you were calling my phone, you better be there.
Yeah. I mean, the whole parade was cheesy like that, but I mean, you can't even get the technical portion right when you got the president on the line. Pot up the phone, okay? It's not that hard. Turn up the phone.
Oh, I think it was up. I think old man doesn't know how to operate it.
Yeah, right.
That's what the problem was.
Again, I was looking for what part to talk into.
So how much of the parade do you think you watched? And
I watched most of it.
okay, so how many opportunities for groomers were there during this parade? Did you see any trans dancers, anything like that? Oh, you did?
Yes, there were trans dancers.
Okay, very good.
Yes, there were.
That's good.
In fact,
singing and stuff.
led off the parade with a trans guy. Yeah.
Shocking.
It was, what Broadway show was it? Was it the Neil Diamond thing? I think it was.
Whatever one it was, it's one I will not be seeing.
I think it was the Neil Diamond Beautiful Noise or whatever that's called. Yeah. Yes, of course they had to feature trans dancers. And, it just is, everything's different than it used to be. Now, when you see the people who are parading down the parade route, it's quite different from what it once was. I mean, you can't exclude anybody anymore, of course, and so everybody's included, and that's great. I love that. I love the fact that everyone is included.
Except for my kids, who will not be watching that parade.
Really?
I mean, think about it. I mean, this is what Michelle Obama talked about. We got to change our...
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so that opportunity for my kids to grow up with those memories of watching the Thanksgiving parade and waiting for their favorite characters, no, that's been obliterated.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Can you turn up the... Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay, my machine
no.
is all... It's all discombobulated.
Your
I gotta
machine's
fix that.
on Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, it is. Dang it. All right. So anyway, people were wondering, what was he? He's on vacation all Thanksgiving on Nantucket Island. It's amazing how he's just one of the little people, and just like everybody else, he's lunchbox Joe and middle class Joe, and yet he's hanging out at Nantucket. He's got how many homes now at this point? Plus, he can also go to Camp David. He's hanging out at these fabulous vacation homes. All the presidents do it now. It's the in thing to do. But so he took a few questions while he was there, and people were wondering when he was going to get a physical. Cut 3. Asked about a physical.
When will you get your annual physical, Mr. President?
What do you think I need it?
Yeah.
You just had a birthday.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
I've gotten my. I will get it. Part of my physical's already done.
Okay.
And I'll get it before the end of the year.
Okay. Part of my physical's already done.
Okay, I don't care for how he walks up on a female reporter when he doesn't like the question.
No, I don't either.
I mean, what a jerk.
No.
He's such a bully, and,
Yeah.
and he realizes
that was an intimidation tactic,
that's
right
exactly
there.
what that is. Man, he sucks.
And do you think I need it? Yeah, we think you need it.
You need a lot, bro.
Hello, are you not listening? Do you have any contact with reality? Yeah, you need it. Jeez.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
And everything else.
And your name.
Yep. Names of other people, the people you're campaigning for, your wife, your sister, your grandchild. He forgets the name of everybody. He remembered his grandson's name only because his grandson's named after Bo. But he couldn't remember his granddaughter's name. That's Bo and my granddaughter. Whose name I don't know right now. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, please, get a physical. All right. For years, you've heard me talk about iTarget Pro. And if you have one, I'm about to take you to the next level. If not, this new product is something you need to get. If you haven't already checked it out, please do so. Have you ever seen competitive shooters practice timing drills on the range? Imagine being able to do that at home anytime you want and never spend a dime on ammo. That's what all the new iTarget Cube does. It you can get this in one or two or three cubes, and it's fully compatible with your existing laser bullets. If you already have the iTarget Pro system, you can buy one or just upgrade to the 3-pack for a truly unique training experience. Compete with friends, practice clearing drills, or use random mode to test your ability to react, all while the system times every shot you take. Really cool and really fun. And right now you can save 10%, plus get free shipping with the offer code PAT. When you buy the iTarget Pro, go to itargetpro.com. Comes in most calibers from 9mm to 223, so you can train with pretty much anything, including your AR. This is the easiest and most cost-effective way to train, pays for itself in a single day. The letter I, then targetpro.com, itargetpro.com, offer code PAT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So the stupidity didn't end there. Biden also wants to use this lame duck session of Congress to ban a lot of weapons. I mean, almost every weapon really is semi-automatic now. I think what he means here is automatic, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, you don't need to be making laws if you don't know.
Oh, for sure. That's absolutely a fact. You should not be talking about it at all when you don't know what you're talking about. And they never do. It's amazing to me. This is just like Michael Bloomberg, whose main goal in life is to ban guns, and he was talking about an automatic weapon and had to be corrected by the reporter who was talking to him about it.
Yeah, and do you remember his response to the reporter? He goes, the ones that go, duh. That was what he said. Should find that clip.
Well, I mean, that's really technical stuff there, and I'm not sure we'd understand it. But here's what he says about how he's going to use the lame duck Congress to ban just a whole bunch of weapons cut for.
The idea we still allow semi-automatic weapons to be purchased is sick. It's just sick.
No,
it has
you are sick.
No social redeeming value. Zero. None. Not a single solitary rationale for.
I just can't.
85% of guns should be banned, according to the President of the United States.
85%.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like we're shooting muskets anymore. Those are about the only non-semi-automatic. Semi-automatic just means you pull the trigger, it shoots. You pull the trigger, it shoots. You pull the trigger. Now, automatic, you pull the trigger once and it just keeps going. Yeah. There's hardly any of those.
Don't forget they're trying to also, part of this is ban the braces that handicapped people use to shoot firearms. Remember that? Jeez, Thomas Massey had to call him out. He's like, What are you talking about? This isn't going to change the way a weapon operates. You're trying to take the ability to shoot away from those that aren't able to physically. This is a bad law, and you better watch them this next month here of this lame duck session.
They're gonna try to get everything done before the Republicans take the Congress. Do we know what the final count is yet?
Boy, that's a good question. Hold on, I have it bookmarked on my phone.
Oh, you do?
Hang on.
All right. I mean, by now you would think. Now we're going on, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Will it be 2 weeks tomorrow or 3? No, it's going to be 3 weeks tomorrow. My gosh. 3 weeks. We just found out in Alaska that Lisa Murkowski beat Chewbacca.
Beat Chewbacca. You remember? It looks like we have one still to decide.
Oh, one in the House.
Yeah.
Okay.
221 to 213 Republicans.
221, 213. That's not bad.
218 is a majority.
Right.
So there you go.
So we went 3 past majority. Good. Mm-hmm. All right. We got a little bit of a cushion. Not a lot.
You only have to blackmail 3 congressmen.
And I don't understand Alaska. How is it possible that Lisa Murkowski, one of the worst.
It's that ranked stuff.
One of the worst of all time. How is it that Alaska has to settle for her every time?
She always gets in on the skin of her teeth, man.
Yep. And there's no reason for it. You can do better than that, Alaska. You could have just had somebody who's pretty good. I mean, didn't you like Chewbacca in the movies? I did.
Yeah.
I really liked Chewbacca.
I will say that that scene where you could just tell that Chewbacca was crying.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
right.
Is it too soon to give away why Chewbacca would be crying?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
All right, good. So
I think if it's 40 years past.
No. I meant just the more recent, like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever.
Oh. And which movie was he crying?
When Han Solo.
When he died?
What?
Oh, no.
Dude, what? I just tried to tiptoe around it, and you went and just ripped that Band-Aid right off. Yeah. So anyway, they could have had Chewbacca in the Senate.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Been awesome. Obviously, her name is it Kelly Chewbacca or something? I don't know.
Don't make me look this up.
Whatever it is, she lost. So we don't need to know her name anymore.
Yeah, TSHI.
Yeah. I think it's pronounced Chewbacca.
Okay. Something like that.
But it's a shame. You know, it really is a shame that Alaska has to settle, that Utah has to settle for Mitt Romney. Why? Why is that? That Texas has to settle for John Cornyn. Although he tricked us. John Cornyn was an actual conservative in the very beginning. He was a great candidate in 2000, 2001. And he's blown that all to hell, that's for sure.
Do we know any latest polling out of Georgia a week from tomorrow?
Oof. Last I saw, Warlock was ahead of Herschel. Did you watch any of the Georgia Tech game?
Oh, yeah.
Because there was a lot of commercials, both for and against Herschel.
Yeah.
Man, they're coming at him.
Uh-huh. Oh, so that was I was watching it off of a Georgia feed. You're saying that they were national ads?
Yeah.
I just thought they were local.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
They were on like Donkey Kong. It was, he had some great ads with Brian Kemp, who's supporting him and endorsing him. So those are probably pretty effective since Kemp seems to be pretty darn popular in Georgia. So hopefully that makes a difference. But then they bring out the women who apparently he badgered into getting abortions, threatened into getting abortions, supposedly. I mean, how do we know? How do we know that these just aren't paid operatives of the Democrat Party? And if you're talking about abuse of women, Warlock has his own abuse of women.
He ran over his ex-wife.
Yeah. Yep. Her foot, but
ran
still.
over her. Don't change the story, Pat.
Yeah.
He ran over her.
He ran over her.
Yeah, it looks like Walker. I mean, I'm looking at these polls all from within the. Okay. I was thinking this was last week. No, this is right before the last one. I don't know. Real Clear Politics hasn't updated it
since the election.
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's
weird. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
because that's coming up next week.
But
right?
You said
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but you saw something that has Warnock ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like he was about 4 points ahead.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
No.
I mean, the guy's terrible. He's just flat out terrible.
Oh, by the way, that guy, some tenant paid up on rent Remember, Warnock was in charge of...
He's a slumlord.
Evicting... That's the way to say it, yep. Slumlord that was kicking people out for paying $28.55 being behind in rent. Somebody I saw, paid up on rent and still got evicted or something.
Oh, wow. In his apartment complex, in his slums. Yeah, that's great. And I just found it fascinating that they used, his alma mater, where he won the Heisman Trophy, to run all these ads against him. It's kind of interesting. I wonder how Georgia fans will react to that. Be interesting to see. Because are we going to see through the smear campaign? Are they gonna be able to separate fact from fiction and truth from lies and what we really know and don't know? I mean, I hope they understand that a lot of these people are probably just paid operatives of the Democrat Party. You'd be hard-pressed to convince me otherwise. Also, the Chinese are protesting COVID lockdowns in China. I mean, it's intensifying what's going on in China. Look at this facility they're building over there.
Yeah. Look at this. This could house 80,000 people here.
Cut 5.
I mean, this puts the Australian stuff to shame. I mean,
gosh.
look how big the facility is.
Okay, so that's a COVID facility where you go if you get COVID, they send you there. Oh, huh. That seems fine and reasonable, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the society we're all supposed to emulate, according to Klaus Schwab.
That's right.
From the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's follow China down this primrose path. That'd be great.
Yeah, and this whole thing started on Thursday when a lockdown facility, caught fire. 10 people burned alive.
Oh, man.
And so, and it's kind of like a dual protest. You're protesting these just intense COVID lockdowns where people can't go out, can't go anywhere if there's a trace of it in the community. And then also the fact that there's no free speech online there in China. And so that's why they're holding up white pieces of paper just to protest the fact that, hey, you know what? This is what the government, this is the way I understand it. The government is allowing us this, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So, check out the crowds, though, in the street.
Cut 6. This is interesting because there are a lot of people who are pissed off.
And this is just one city out of many there. And what they're chanting is down with the CCP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
that's brave.
Absolutely it is. They're calling for the resignation of Xi Jinping. Yep. I mean,
Xi Jinping has claimed, leadership of China for life. And they're saying they want him to step down. That is dangerous.
The Chinese government is now banning the sale of white paper in parts of the country.
Kidding me?
Yeah, so that's
unbelievable.
Now, one thing that's kind of bubbling under that I think people need to watch. I was reading this thing about how Chinese farmers, the COVID lockdowns are so severe, and people can't get out and go and buy stuff that the farmers are having to destroy their crops now. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, that'll work out nicely.
A food shortage on top of this, it's already bad enough. But, this is getting no play in the media. The media is not covering the Chinese protests, and they're also not covering the massive protests in Brazil over the election. There's a lot of unrest worldwide right now.
Yeah. Yep.
People are pushing back.
Schwab attended the recently concluded G20 summit in Bali, and along with another globalist, of course, Bill Gates, where they promoted the New World Order, as they call it. Those are not my words. Those are their words.
Right.
The New World Order to world leaders, and said that China was the perfect model for that New World Order.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is who we're dealing with the WEF. If you thought, oh, that's just conspiracy nonsense. Is it? Maybe you should look a little bit further and not listen to everything you're told in the mainstream media. A role model for many countries for its tremendous achievements, like banning white paper so you can't protest with it.
Pat Gray.
Welcome. Pat Gray Unleashed. Got some tweets here. Jeffy's nervous lawn chair. I would think it's nervous. Just waiting for him to maybe sit there. Is that the problem?
I think that's what they're implying.
Reporter, Mr. President, what do you think about inflation? Biden, is it still going on?
Yeah.
Pardon my giblets. Reporter, Mr. President, what do you have to say about the game? Biden, don't jump. Ape Lincoln, Joe can't be disrupted with soccer questions as he's window shopping for more young girls. Carol Marks, why is a tie acceptable in soccer? Yeah, right. Why don't you do the penalty kick thing right at the end of the game? Or not penalty kick, whatever they call it, the kicks.
Yeah,
the free kicks.
Yeah, the free kick. Yeah, okay, sure. Well, that's coming next round. That's the knockout round, Pat.
But why can't you do it now?
I don't know.
So stupid. What a dumb game. It should either be a win or lose. Right. Oh, wait. It must be a European thing. Well, in Europe they have ties. In Europe they like a tie.
Everybody wins that way.
Right. DMXDM. Isn't it great we're demonstrating our national mediocrity through the world's most boring sport? And Bad Engineer tweets, obviously, after J6, that's January 6th to you and me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We have to change the way we parade. Yeah, get it? See? Because they were parading, and he got in trouble for that. And then there was a Macy's parade, and nobody got in trouble for doing that, I guess. Hey, what do you think of Nebraska's new head coach hire? Matt Rule.
Neutral.
Neutral?
Yeah.
Really? Taking a wait-and-see approach?
Yeah.
It's probably prudent, given the history of the last decade or two.
It was a really big win on Friday for Nebraska, I'll tell you that.
24-17 over Iowa?
Yeah.
Ish?
Tried to blow it. But I think the head coach right now for Nebraska, Mickey Joseph, did an excellent job. I don't say excellent, but he did a very good job there.
Yeah.
Cleaned up a mess, and I hope that he doesn't go anywhere.
Again,
I hope he's a part of the crew.
It's probably the best 4-8 team in the country.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You can give us a bowl game for that?
No.
Dang it.
Probably not. Although we just talked about this last Wednesday, I think, there are bowl slots that are going to have to be filled.
The 5-7?
By 5 and 7 teams.
Oh, yeah. And that's where they rank
So you
them.
almost got there.
Yeah, you rank them on GPA at that point.
Yeah. Yes.
That's how we got in
They actually do.
a few years ago and won the game.
Yeah, crazy.
Huh. Well,
Amazing. So they finished 6 and 7 that year? After a bowl victory?
Yeah.
BYU, in the meantime, beat Stanford. They should have crushed them, but it wound up 35-26 because that's what they do.
So what's your final record?
7 and 5.
Oh, good. Okay. So what game? What do you know?
Don't know yet. Not till Sunday, I think.
Okay.
So we'll find out then. You know it's going to be fabulous.
Michigan left no questions of who was superior between them and Ohio State.
Oh, that's for sure. That was a bloodbath. Michigan's good.
Yeah.
Man.
Georgia Tech hung with Georgia for a while.
They did for a while.
So we're going to have, what are we going to have? Georgia, Michigan. Maybe Michigan might pass Georgia. I don't know. So
Georgia? Yeah. Michigan. The solid 2. Probably TCU. They'll probably win. If they lose the Big 12 championship.
I just don't want Alabama to sneak back in there. Good grief.
They can't.
Enough of this.
Right? They can't.
Enough.
Clemson's eliminated now, which is fun with their 2 losses. It's going to be USC will be the 4th team.
Yeah.
USC. If they can beat Utah, who beat them 43-42 earlier in the season.
Oh, that's their only blemish.
Yeah.
A 1-point loss to Utah. Yeah.
To the godless animals. Yeah.
Godless animals.
So there you go. A little football roundup there for you. Speaking of free speech online, which I don't know that we were, but former CIA analyst Bob Baer doesn't like Elon Musk owning Twitter. Isn't that too bad? Oh, wow. So here's what Bob Baer had to say, cut 7.
Joining us now is CNN intelligence and security analyst Bob Baer. Bob, thanks for joining us. We hope you're enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday.
Do you?
I'm curious to get your reaction to these accounts being reinstated.
Yeah, Elon reinstating
Boris,
accounts.
I can tell you one thing. Putin is going to be all over Twitter. If there's no regulations on this, fake accounts,
Riley.
spoofed accounts, the rest of it, this is a great opportunity for him. And so when he's talking about the popular voice, Musk, he's really talking about Russian intelligence.
Is that what he's...
shut up. Russians are
Right?
waiting
Isn't
for
this
something
fun?
like this.
Oh,
they need a propaganda campaign against the United States and against our support for Ukraine. And they're going to be all over Twitter. I guarantee this. Supporting the far right plans, demands to stop arming Ukraine. You just wait.
Just wait. What? We were already...
I was going to say...
And we're not campaigning on anybody on behalf of anybody else but ourselves. I mean, American citizens should be able to stand up and say, hey, we've had enough of this. Okay? Stop with the arming of Ukraine. I love how these European Union countries are all saying, well, it's really the United States who's benefiting most by this. What? We are sending money down a black hole. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
How are we benefiting? We're not selling them arms. And that's what they said. Well, the arms sales, we're not selling anything. We're giving it all away. Jeez. Billions and billions, tens of billions. We're close to, it's 100 billion by now. Yeah. And it's all going right down the chute.
Mm-hmm. And Bob Baer is, former CIA. He's the CNN security expert head guy. And they bring him on for this kind of stuff. So he's not just upset with Elon Musk restoring accounts on Twitter and thinking that Russia's going to use it for propaganda. No, we got another clip of him. He just doesn't like the idea of free speech online, period. Watch this guy.
And it gets more and more challenging to discern what's real and what is, misinformation or disinformation with deep fakes and with the sophistication by which some of these influence campaigns are developed. How do you discern what's real versus what's fake, even in light of that sophistication?
Pause it for just a second. When it comes from CNN, it's fake.
Okay.
When it comes from MSNBC, it's fake.
Noted.
Yeah. So that's one telltale
so you're saying that's kind
sign.
of a general rule you could follow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. See the rest of this. Jeez.
Well, that's why the pre-Musk Twitter had 7,000 people going through these accounts. Right. You can pick them out with algorithms. You can pick them out by looking at them. You can check IPs and the rest of it, and you simply block them. And it's not right. And this freedom of speech is just nonsense because you can't go into a movie theater and yell fire. It's
freedom of
against the law.
speech
you
is
can.
nonsense.
What Putin's going to do, and the
Pause
Russians.
it for a second. I'm so tired of that example. You could go into a movie theater and shout fire, and you're not going to go to jail. You won't be arrested. People will look around and say, "There's no fire here," and then they'll sit down. You can't go into a movie theater and yell fire. And of course, from Nancy Pelosi, it was, you can't go into a movie theater and cry wolf. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
So that you can't do, I guess. but you could yell fire. Anyway, let's see what else he had to say.
Law. And what Putin's going to do, and the Russians, is they're going to use this as a vehicle to save himself in Ukraine. And, whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. But we're going to see, as soon as these restrictions come off, we're going to see the Russians all over it, as I just said.
Okay. Wow. The Russian disinformation bullcrap just continues. And if you say anything about it, that it may not be what they say it is, and it's proven not to be what they say it is, then you're a conspiracy theorist. And you're demonetized, and you're banned. We're going to have to... Hello? We got a show going on in here? If you would, please.
Good grief.
Glad we got a party going
back
together.
from Thanksgiving, y'all.
All right. Anthony Fauci, too, recently deposed in a lawsuit from Missouri and Louisiana. And I guess he's forgotten virtually everything he's ever said or done
So
when it comes to COVID.
So they're talking about the lawsuit is, did the White House work hand in hand with social media companies to do what Bob Baer wants them to do, which is to silence free speech? I mean, that's the whole goal of what they're doing there. And so he's finally having to face the music here. And like you said, we get a little recap here from Fox.
Dr. Bhattacharya, I have to get your reaction to this. Dr. Fauci spent about 7 hours today being deposed by the Missouri and Louisiana attorneys general. This concerns a lawsuit alleging that he colluded with social media companies to censor and suppress information on COVID's origins. AG Jeff Landry telling the Ingram Angle after the deposition that Fauci couldn't recall much and didn't appear to know much about communications he made and actions he took. Dr. Bhattacharya, are you surprised by this?
I'm actually a plaintiff in that lawsuit, one of the named plaintiffs in that lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's actually, shocking to me, right? So what I learned from the lawyers today is that he said that he couldn't remember specific scientific studies. Well, what basis is he making these recommendations? Another really important thing that happened during this deposition is that he was asked about where the idea of the lockdowns came from. And he admitted that it was the Chinese example in January 2020 that influenced him in recommending lockdowns in the United States. We copied the actions of an authoritarian country in imposing the lockdowns in March of 2020. It is absolutely shocking that he spent the deposition denying remembering basic things when he's basically designed the policy that has been implemented that has caused so much damage and utterly failed to protect Americans from COVID or much else.
Yeah. He was even more dismissive of the Great Barrington Declaration,
This is great.
according to
This
your
is so
attorney.
great.
What did he say briefly?
Well, he said he runs an agency of $6 billion, and he was too busy to think about things like the Great Barrington Declaration. Well, if he doesn't have time to think about basic alternatives to the lockdown policy, what does he have? What business does he have giving recommendations to the American people or to the President of the United States about how to manage the pandemic?
Yeah.
If he's not willing to engage with outside scientists, the tens of thousands of them who signed on to an alternate policy focused at protecting vulnerable people, what exactly is his job? I'm going to be very pleased to see him go in December.
Yeah,
when
he
finally
says
steps
lead
down
with the
from his,
science,
step.
but when scientists speak up, he's nowhere to be seen.
Guys from Stanford, not exactly a bastion of conservative thought.
Yeah, and there's thought that maybe Fauci perjured himself on that Great Barrington Declaration comment under oath because he sent an email back in October of 2020 to Dr. Birx where he says, I've come out very strongly publicly against the Great Barrington Declaration. But you just said you didn't have time to even consider it. No. But you've said in private emails that you've come out strongly. And I think another thing that that came out of this is that his stance on masks. You want to check out this timeline. This is from the AG from Missouri there. He said another tidbit from the Fauci deposition. In February 20, he emailed a friend advising her masks were ineffective. And remember, we had the clip from February 29th where he says, no, they're pointless. Mm-hmm. So again, he confirms this on March 31st. On April 3rd, he's adamant masks should be worn, even though he couldn't cite a single study to prove it. And then the mandates followed, and then, as the AG says, lives ruined. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth.
As he's
always done on every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, nothing's going to come of it.
Yeah.
I just, that's the problem is at least I, and I think you have lost such faith in the judicial system in this country and holding people accountable for what they've done, for the actions they've taken, for the incredible mistakes that have been made. Oh, well, just let's move on. Nobody has to pay for it. Wow. Amazing. Let me tell you about Preborn, because this is an organization that you can really get behind. Every minute, tragically, unborn babies' futures are sucked out of existence. I mean, that's a really mild way to put it. But amid the darkness, there's a light that shines, and that's Preborn. Preborn introduces mothers considering abortion to their unborn babies through ultrasound. Once they hear that heartbeat, once they see that precious life, 80% of the time they choose life. Preborn pregnancy clinics are positioned in top abortion areas where most abortions still take place. But Preborn doesn't stop there. They love and support these mothers with maternity clothes, diapers, counseling, and whatever else they need for up to 2 years. So if you want to do good this year and help save the lives of the innocent, please help Preborn. If you can afford $1, that would be great. $27 buys one ultrasound for the expectant mother. For just, it's $28. You can rescue a baby's life. Or $140 sponsors 5 ultrasounds. And now, through a match, your gift is doubled. 100% of your abortion donation will go towards saving babies. Their goal is to save 50,000 Blaze babies. So we really hope you'll join us. If you can, just dial pound 250, pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/Pat. That's preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Just to tell you a little bit more about what we're up against on this continued COVID situation. When it comes to wasting money, of course, the Biden administration has almost no peers. Earlier this year, Team Biden repurposed billions of dollars to buy 170 million doses of the new bivalent COVID-19 vaccine. Hardly anybody is getting. Well, 35 million people got the shot. That's 11% of the population, 15% of the 227 million who have completed the primary vaccine series. Okay, so nobody wants more booster shots. Almost nobody. 15%. But instead of examining why the response is so bad, the administration is resorting to its usual solution: spend more money. White House COVID-19 response coordinator, Dr. Ashish Jha, has just announced a 6-week sprint to convince Americans to get their updated vaccines. They just will not let this go. Man. So they have 70,000 locations still offering the booster shots. I bet you're going to run out and get one today.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Thanks for being here. 888-933-93 Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Interesting. This is from the Washington Post. The super right-wing MAGA publication that is the Washington Post. 58% of coronavirus deaths in August were people who were vaccinated and or boosted. Wait, you might recognize 58% as most. That's over a majority of people. We don't want anybody dying from this, but they've been telling us all along, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Shut up. Even if you get it, though, you're not going to be hospitalized or die. Really? Those narratives seem to be down the drain now. It's a continuation of a troubling trend that's emerged over the past year. As vaccination rates increased and new variants appeared, the share of deaths of people who were vaccinated has been steadily rising. Again, the Washington Post. In September 2021, vaccinated people made up just 23% of fatalities from coronavirus. January and February this year was up to 42%. As I mentioned, now it is at 58%. And I'm sure this hurts them to say, but one of the officials from, let's see, is he from the It doesn't say what organization, but he says we can no longer say this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Yeah, but they will.
Yeah, but are they boosted?
They will.
Are they boosted? Huh?
I don't know.
See, you don't know,
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
Okay, I've got a fun story, though.
All right.
You got to see this from CNBC. Here's the headline. Omicron boosters probably aren't very effective against mild COVID illness, but will likely prevent hospitalizations, experts say.
Wait a minute. Probably?
Probably. Oh, good. We do have the
And
thing up
likely?
there. Yeah, look at that other bullet point down here. It says, the study did not look at hospitalization, but experts believe the shots will provide strong protection against severe outcomes.
That's what we've been facing this whole time.
You just said it will prevent, but yet you didn't even look at that data. They're just flying by the seat of their pants. They suck.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
They're just guessing, and then they tell us it's the science. We're just following the science. What science? You didn't even look at it to see if that's scientific or not.
Can we look at the science that shows that excess mortality is now higher than during the pandemic?
I really want them to.
Can we look at the science that says young people are suddenly dying from heart attacks? Can we look at the science?
Yeah, but that's been happening all along, Keith.
Has it? Can we look at the science of Scotland reporting a 123% increase in newborn deaths in September of last year?
Jeez.
Can we look at that science? Can we look at the declining birth rates around the nation, around the world? No, we're not going to look at that. Come on now.
Why would you? What are you insinuating there?
I don't know.
What are you implying? Huh. That's weird. Here's another weird thing. It's hard to grasp why anyone would keep voting for record inflation, skyrocketing crime, open border. Why does that keep happening? Likewise, why would anybody keep funding the left by sticking with the big cell phone carriers? There's Patriot Mobile. It's America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they make it easy for you to try their service. Give them 60 days to show you why I trust them. Right now, when you try Patriot Mobile for 2 months, get your third month free. What a great deal. Plus, you get free activation. They offer, obviously, nationwide coverage on the best 4G and 5G networks and use all the same towers as all three of the major carriers. So you get the same great service while supporting a company that's fighting to preserve our God-given rights and freedoms. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat or call their 100% U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. If you're fed up with the woke companies that don't care about your values, support a company that does. It's time to switch. Finally make the switch to Patriot Mobile. patriotmobile.com/Pat or 972-PATRIOT.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Welcome to it. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The world has just gone upside down. Anybody remember Nina Jankowicz?
Nina.
Oh,
yeah.
is it Nina?
Mm-hmm.
Nina Jankowicz, the would-be disinformation czar. She was dropped from the Department of Homeland Security after public scrutiny. She has now officially been registered as a foreign agent.
Oh, perfect.
Huh.
Perfect.
She was the executive director of Homeland Security's Disinformation Governance Board. Remember that?
Yeah.
For about 5 minutes. She was at the center of the controversy over the attempt to censor opposing views. Man, they're hitting us from every angle. She also advised the British Parliament to set standards for speech on the internet, telling it that the British government could find ways to suppress undesirable speech, ignoring freedom of expression.
I mean, that's what this whole Elon Musk thing is about, is that they have a major social media platform that they don't have the controls of anymore.
Right, and
That's
they
all
can't
this
stand
is.
it.
Exactly.
They can't stand. No, it's not even that it's a right-wing led service. It's not even that. It's that there's any opposing viewpoint whatsoever, and that's not being banned or shut down now. And they can't handle it because they can't compete on the battlefield of ideas. They just can't. Jankowicz also became infamous for her enthusiasm for musical theater as a means of expressing her left-wing political ideas.
Those were good songs, too.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, those were memorable moments.
Oh, I almost forgot about them. She also referred to herself as the Mary Poppins of disinformation in that TikTok post where she did the sing-song thing. Ugh.
So now she works for Great Britain, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Spreading the notorious Alpha Bank hoax before the 2016 election, too, which falsely claimed that then-candidate Donald Trump had financial ties to a Russian bank.
So she's a spreader of disinformation.
Exactly.
Okay.
She now has been registered as a foreign representative under the Foreign Agents Registration Act on behalf of the Center for Information Resilience, which is a British organization. Now, that's good to know. That could have been our disinformation czar right there. Talk about dodging a bullet. Wow. Also, the FDA claims they only recommended not taking ivermectin.
So pathetic.
Oh, we never said don't do it as a mandate. That was never a thing. Huh. Really? This is a year after posting, "You are not a horse." They got a doctor with her arm around a horse. Yeah, there you see it. You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, y'all. Stop it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Huh. The FDA is trying to rewrite history as they backtrack what they said regarding taking ivermectin for COVID. I mean, anything that seemingly worked that was taken by Donald Trump, it just automatically became conspiracy. You're a nut job for doing it. And this is all part of what they were trying to do, what they've been trying to do for decades. If you remember Michelle Obama,
and Barack
what
knows
she had
that
to
we
say.
are going to have to make sacrifices. We are going to have to change our conversation.
Yeah,
we're
we've
going
done
to have
that.
to change our traditions, our history.
our
We're going to
history.
have to move into a different place.
So ask yourself, have we moved into a different place?
Oh, yeah.
Have we changed our conversation? Yeah, we have. Have we changed our history? Yeah, they have. And they're certainly working on doing more of all of that. So it was almost exactly a year ago when the FDA tweeted out, "You're not a horse. You're not a cow. Stop it." The article stated that the FDA has not authorized or approved ivermectin. Nobody said they did. Who cares? Just let me take what I want. And nobody was taking, or probably someone did, but very few people took the horse paste. They took the ivermectin that was designed for humans.
Yeah, and here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, one pharmacy during the height of the pandemic, you could get ivermectin because of the FDA stance and what the officials were saying. And now we're up to 2. So
wow, so we've doubled
a lot of progress.
Doubled the places where you can get it.
A lot of progress made, even here in Texas.
Jeez.
Pharmacists that will give you ivermectin.
Well, wait a minute, Keith. These were just recommendations.
You're not a horse.
These weren't mandates. You're just trying to, they told you that you're not a horse, you're not a cow. And now it's just a suggestion. Maybe you are a horse or a cow. We don't think so, though. It's more along those lines.
You should have seen how I was eating on Thanksgiving. You would have said, "Oh, you're totally a cow." This recommendation, or this, this thing coming out here where they said, "Hey, we didn't recommend it. It was just a suggestion." Blah blah blah. They of course dumped that on the eve of Thanksgiving.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Okay.
The ivermectin helped a lot of people. I don't care what they say. A lot of people took it and got better.
I've never experienced a course correction on an illness in all of my life the way I experienced with ivermectin, where I had the second time I had COVID. This time I had the ivermectin ready to go, and I got that fever, and I fell asleep. And 2 hours later, the fever had broken.
Wow.
I mean, it's just miraculous.
I wonder if there's a reason it won the Nobel Prize in 2015.
Keep in mind that every
medicine.
foreign entry into this country was given a slew of drugs upon entry by our federal government for the longest time. And ivermectin, with its ability to kill pretty much anything. This I don't know what the all of the regimen there that goes after all these diseases and stuff. But ivermectin was top of the list.
It was one of the things they were giving to illegals.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the citizens were being told, "Hey, you can't have it. Your doctor's a quack if he prescribes it." I mean, we're going through all of that stuff. And while they say it wasn't a mandate, and technically that, I guess, is true, they sure made it feel and sound and act as if it were mandated. So the case now that they're trying to make is just so disingenuous, as with everything else. Also, if you haven't gotten the vaccine for COVID, this Houston doctor wants you to know that you are a problem, and that's especially true if you're white.
Clip 14, Dr. Carol Baker. Listen to this nonsense.
Fight. The battle is being fought. One family, one physician, one health center. That's why we're doing as well as we are. We're talking about the minority and strategies against the minority. So I have the solution.
Okay, here we go.
Every study published in the last 5 years, when you look at vaccine refusers, I'm not talking about, hesitants, most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States. Because
all the whites?
Houston is the most diverse city in the entire United States.
Houston.
There's 7 Asian languages spoken in that city. I've been a minority for more than 20 years in the city of Houston. The majority is, we call Hispanic. That is not a race or an ethnicity. That is a political designation. But a lot of them are from Central, South America, Mexico. Guess who wants to get vaccinated the most? Immigrants.
Okay, there you go. But so you got to get rid of all the whites. We could start with the good doctor there, I guess, right? Because she's white.
You got to get rid of all the whites?
I don't know what she's going for there.
Genocide, perhaps? Anyone? Jeez.
It's a doctor in Houston, Texas. Oh, by the way, speaking of Houston, the entire city is under a boil water order at this moment. So.
And why is that? What happened?
The pressure went down at one of their main water plants, and so I guess
Oh, boy.
I mean that's on brand for Houston to boil water everywhere. So just a heads up there. Anyway, so get rid of all the whites because they're the ones that don't like vaccines apparently.
Well, they're pesky too, and they're so pasty. I don't like pasty people. Do you? I really don't.
I've not really thought of that. But
Yeah,
let me think for a
best.
moment.
It's probably best that we just get rid of them.
Yeah.
At least put them all together in a place where we don't have to look at them. You know what I mean?
That time is coming.
It obviously is. They're getting bolder and bolder in saying it. And it's white people in large measure who are doing it. Let me tell you about established titles. Fun way to preserve the natural woodlands in Scotland. It's a fun and novel way to also get a title. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. The title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland. And then you get the title of lord or lady.
I'm not going to be in the same neighborhood as Jeffy.
Okay, yeah, that's probably wise.
There's got to be a stipulation in there.
This makes it an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale still right now. Plus, if you use the code UNLEASHED, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/unleashed to get your gifts now.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Missed an episode? Catch up anytime, anywhere podcasts are found. Pat Gray will be right back.
We briefly mentioned a while ago that Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum is singing the praises of China and telling us that they're the example for the New World Order. He was asked by a reporter whether or not the leaders of the globe were able to reach an agreement in order to forward their globalist agenda. He said, among the G20, you were there meeting some of the leaders as well. This is the question from the reporter. Professor Schwab, who calls him that? What do you make of the result? Finally, they're putting something together as a statement. It seems quite positive with all the voices included. He said, I think it's positive. It's already positive. So the fact that everybody agreed about the statement, which we haven't had the last years. So everybody's in agreement with the statement and their joint declaration. And Schwab added during the interview, now the base has been formed. But we have to go one step further. We have to have a strategic mood. We have to construct the world of tomorrow. It's a systemic transformation of the world. So it's a systemic transformation of the world. So we have to define how the world should look and which we want to come out of this transformation period. Then he went on to say, China's a role model for many countries for its tremendous achievements. I respect China's achievements, he said, which are tremendous over the last 40 years. Aren't they, though? I think it's a role model for many countries, but I think also we should leave it to each country to make its own decision. Really? About what system it wants to adopt. And I think we should be very careful in imposing systems. Thank you for that. But the Chinese model is certainly a very attractive model for quite a number of countries. Jeez. I look very much forward to having a strong Chinese voice in Davos to explain even better to the world what it means to see the Party Congress, which lays down the principles of the policy, what it really means for global collaboration and for global development. Yeah, the Chinese Communist Party, there's nobody better to determine our future, is there?
Yeah, I mean, that's cute how he says, look, I don't think we should impose this on countries. Well, you don't have to impose it if you've got your little puppets all over the world in these high positions. You don't have to worry about imposing anything. They'll do it for you in each country.
Yep. And he said all the G20 were behind him. They're behind him on this. We're part of the G20, so that should be
What was the other thing that
flag.
they had planned for their Davos meeting? It was the vaccination passport. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get that all
to travel
squared
around
up.
the world if you want. You're going to need this.
You.
God,
What are the dates of Davos coming up? Man, what is that? January 15th through 20th.
Keep an eye on that.
Definitely keep an eye on that. And keep an eye on these central bank digital currencies. I mean, that is your cashless society. It's literally, it's just sitting on a tee, and they're ready to hit it. And the cashless society is right around the corner.
Well, India's already jumping into it. They're doing a digital version of the rupee, I believe it is. And so we got that going for us.
Yeah, and
that's the second largest country on earth, by the way, population-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got a 90-day, what do they call it? I don't know, like a trial period. They're figuring out how they're going to do this, the major banks in this country. So that comes to fruition along about February, which is right after Davos.
It's incredible how they're getting almost no pushback at all.
This decade
People just
sucks.
don't care. They're not paying attention to the WEF. They don't know who Klaus Schwab is. They don't know what the goal is, but it's the New World Order.
Can we start
Just know
this
that.
decade over? Isaac, start at 2020. Jan 1, 2020. Start it over.
With the pandemic and everything?
I mean, everything. We're just going to start this whole decade over. The election, the pandemic, the direction of this everything.
If it would change anything, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's true. It probably wouldn't.
Just don't know that it would.
No, you're right.
Bad Engineer tweets, how did the woke mob let that horse ad go? I mean, it's 2022. You can be a horse if you want to.
Oh, yeah, because what did it say? Put it back up there if you would, Jake. What did it say? It said, you're not a horse?
Yeah, how do you know?
Says who?
How I identify. You don't know.
Says who?
We should get all indignant about that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? Sarah tweets, As someone who works in the veterinary industry, these idiots against ivermectin would be amazed at the pharmaceutical crossovers.
Yep.
Antibiotics, seizure meds, allergy meds, Prozac, heart meds, insulin, etc. Wow. Mr. Sean's, I was a pharmacist, though clinical in the hospital. I would have had no problem giving ivermectin, but then I would have lost my license. God took me out of the game for a reason. Jimmy Dimples, does the vax prevent infection? Well, we think so. We hope so. Maybe so. We reckon so.
Oh my!
The science. 58% was an F. Was an F grade in my day.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Ape Lincoln, I don't think anyone qualifies as fully vaccinated because no matter how many times you're boosted, it still doesn't work. How dare you say that?
Blaspheme.
Oh, wow. Whoa on that. Now, they haven't tested it. You know, we're the test subjects, actually. Really, we're the guinea pigs because they didn't have time. They didn't have time to test this adequately with humans. They wanted to roll it out. At the time, I really wanted them to roll it out. I thought that was going to be, the way back. And turned out not so much. But the fact that they're still clinging to the same lines that have been totally disproven over the last 2 years it's criminal, really. It's criminal.
Is it control at this point, or is it destruction? Because now I'm kind of torn. I can't tell.
But it's one of the two.
It's definitely one of the two.
Yeah.
I was an easy sell on control.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm just wondering if it's just intentional destruction of
Well,
our
if you're
society.
trying to destroy the United States of America, what would you do differently? More coming up.
This is Pat Gray.
Pat Gray Unleashed, 888-900-3393. Hey, this is really timely because the Oregon Health Authority has been throwing out a number that is just staggering. Did you know that nearly 50% of children aged 12 to 17 who contracted COVID-19 required hospital treatment? 50% of 12 to 17-year-olds wound up in the hospital. Okay, well, they just found out that figure was just a tad inflated.
What?
Just ever so slightly too high.
Not my White House.
It turns out it wasn't 50%. It's under 1%. I mean, it's...
Okay.
Okay. All righty.
I mean, this is worse than Keith math.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Congratulations, Oregon, for finally correcting that teeny tiny little exaggeration there. I mean, these are the figures they all used to scare everybody into getting the vaccine and get their kids the vaccine. And our point was, well, wait a minute. Kids aren't even really vulnerable to this. Do they get it? Yes. Is it serious? Almost never. Very rare is it ever serious. And yet, we were told the opposite. No, about 50% of them are getting COVID so badly that they got to be hospitalized.
Really? I feel like I should cross-check that.
Yeah, well, they finally did, and it was less than 1%. So, slight difference there. Congratulations, Oregon, for noodling that one out. Wow.
It's an honest mistake. I mean,
honest mistake.
Like a state like
Thank
Oregon
you. Right.
would never...
intentionally inflate numbers just to fearmonger.
Yeah.
You know that wouldn't happen.
And I would hope that you wouldn't be insinuating that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Okay, because I'm picking up.
I'm just real happy that they actually caught the mistake there.
Because it felt like you were insinuating
Did it?
something.
Oh, I didn't.
And I don't
want to
make assumptions.
No.
But kind of what I was picking up.
Picking up that maybe I was saying it was intentional?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. No. Also, I mean, there are people who are really committed to not being forced into getting this vaccine. And some of them have put a lot of money where their mouth is. And one of those,
a lot of money.
Well, here's Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah.
Cut 10, talking about how much he turned down not
I
to get
turned
the
down a
vaccine.
movie because I didn't want to get the motherfucking jab. You know, I turned down $9 million.
All right.
Because I didn't want to get the
You didn't
jab.
want to get
$9 million.
Yeah, that jab. And y'all for trying to make me get it.
Yes.
So, you know, I don't know how Hollywood feel about me right now. You know.
Oh, not good. They don't feel good about you, Ice Cube. Or should I just call you Cube? Mr. Cube? Or Ice?
Now, our sacrifice wasn't quite as high. Like you and I turned down,
right.
what was it, $7 million? What was the deal? We got offered a $7 million deal if we would take the jab. And we're like, no way. That's $9 million, Ice Cube. That's
that's serious
principle
money.
right there.
Now you're talking about serious money.
Sure.
Wow, $9 million. That would be hard. It'd be hard to turn down. And that's a lot of money. Now, Ice Cube's probably made many tens of millions.
Should I look up the net worth of one Ice Cube?
A lot of these are not accurate, but we can take a peek and see what people are saying.
That's right. They're not, are they?
No.
All right, let's see here.
They'll say 10 million would be my guess.
That's your guess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do they say?
They say... All right, so much for principle. No, 160 million.
160 million.
I ain't taking no 9 million.
That was just a bit short. Well, no wonder. I mean, you can afford to blow off 9 million, but that's still a lot of money. I don't care who you are. That's still a lot of money.
Oh, I've never seen this website. Let's see here. This one, I don't know, CAknowledge.com, whatever that is. Okay, so it says that his annual salary is $15 million. Monthly income, $1.2 million.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nah, he's probably just...
A month?
Are the checks just rolling in? Like, are these...
Well, isn't he on... I think he's on a series, right? Is he on a TV series?
I'm sure he is.
So, yeah, 1.2
Jeffy,
million.
what series is he in that you watch every day? Yeah, okay. So,
yeah, he's doing all right.
He's doing all right.
He's not wondering where his next meal is
God
coming
bless
from.
him. And a lot of celebrities that stuck their neck out, especially considering who their cohorts in the industry are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I can't remember. I tweeted out one time thanking all of them that have just,
and some of them
taking a stand.
Some of them had their employer come back around to their point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving, I think. Now, doesn't he play every game? I don't think he has to sit anymore and lose half his salary.
Endorsing anti-Semitic movies.
Right.
Remember that fiasco?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's back to playing because there's no New York City thing anymore.
So that's interesting. So if you just hang in there, wait it out, chances are you may not be forced into taking it. I mean, I think we're beyond being forced now. Although they're still pushing this. They really are pushing it. Psychologists have been overwhelmed by the high demand for mental health care. Now, the pandemic has eased a bit, and that was definitely a mental health crisis, and it persists, according to U.S. psychologists. Growing demand for help with depression, anxiety, and substance use issues, all those issues mean that many psychologists across the U.S. are unable to take on new patients. About 60% said they no longer can take on new patients. 72% said they have longer wait lists than before the pandemic. On average, psychologists said 15 people a week contact them seeking new care. In all, 79% said they have seen more patients with anxiety disorders since the pandemic began. About 66% have seen increased demand for depression treatment, 47% for substance use treatment, 64% for trauma, and about 2/3 of psychologists said patient symptoms are more severe this year than they have been. Young people, especially 13 to 17-year-olds, represented the largest increases in seeking care. You know, you think about how hard it's been on the youth, not seeing their friends, not going to school, kind of almost prisoners in their own homes in some cases. Many psychologists also saw a need for more care in kids under 13 and among 18 to 25-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And with teachers like this one It's easy to understand the need for these kids. It's a teacher that can't understand why other teachers insist on referring to boys and girls. Why would you call, the students in your class boys and girls? Where does that come from?
Here we have another veteran teacher who's insisting on the use of boys and girls in the classroom. Why is it so necessary to constantly remind kids of the gender binary with norms that we as a society literally made up? It's the same thing as saying, okay, talls and shorts, okay, blondes and brunettes. Not only does it divide the blondes from the brunettes, but it also leaves out the redheads. Statistically, redheads are pretty rare. But they exist, biologically, socially, emotionally. Even if you don't like redheads or you've never met a redhead, dividing boys and girls constantly creates a disparity between the two and leaves out intersex children, non-binary children, and transgender children.
Right. Whether you have
disrespectful,
any of those children or not.
And it invalidates another human's personhood.
Oh, shut up. Personhood. Shut up. I'm so tired of this.
The best argument for taking your kids out of public schools is just spend a few minutes every day watching videos on Libs of TikTok on their Twitter channel.
Unbelievable. Let's say it's true. Let's say there's a whole bunch of kids that are intersex or whatever. If you say boys and girls, is that really going to fracture their mental health? Is it going to split their personalities? She just said boys and girls. I can't take it. I don't know who I am. I mean, even if it's true, which it isn't. I'll bet 99% of classrooms don't have that situation. They all think they're either a boy or a girl. But we got to bend over backwards till we break in half over this issue now. Just on the rare possibility that there is somebody who doesn't identify as a boy or a girl.
And the
my gosh,
trying to come up with that parallel with there are redheads. Okay, well, they aren't true. They're just redheads.
Yeah,
they're not saying, oh, you know what, I want to be a redhead. I know I have blonde hair, but you have to call me a redhead. I mean, this is the dumbest thing.
Really stupid.
Our society, you can't have conversations with people like this.
No, you can't.
It's impossible. Mm-hmm. We speak two different languages, and we're getting further and further apart because one group is in reality and trying to hold this thing together, and then another group is just coming up with this crap on the fly and expecting us to act like it's the norm. Screw you. No. Not doing it.
And she's been coddled her whole life, and so now she can't handle any sort of reality that is different from hers. I mean, so what? What if there is somebody? That doesn't mean you're hating them. That doesn't show any hatred for anybody. If somebody calls me something I'm not, they confuse me for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
If they say Miss Gray, would I explode mentally? I don't think so. I think I'd be okay. I'd noodle it out. I'm not a woman, and I might even mention that. But
how are you dressed in this scenario?
I'm just like I am now. Okay, but maybe somebody just gets confused.
All right. I'm going to suggest the person that called you a woman, seeing you dressed like that, might have issues to explore.
It's
on their
possible.
Own.
Yeah, it might say more about them than it does me.
I think so.
But this is so asinine.
It is. And
let's get a grip.
If you are aware of your child having a teacher similar to that one, and you allow your child to sit in that classroom and be exposed to this garbage
every day,
soul-destroying garbage every day, dare I say, you're responsible for child abuse yourself. If you know that your child has that kind of representative in the classroom,
you don't do anything about
and you leave them in there,
not good.
You're just as guilty as destroying them as this lady or guy. I don't. Whatever that was, I have no idea. I don't know.
We'll have to consult.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
Because she never, that individual never told us in that video. Did it introduce itself? It didn't. I don't know.
Somebody just released a list of 97 genders, and hopefully she fits into one of those.
Just the 97?
Just 97. Yeah, but there are 97 genders now.
I thought there were more. Frankly, I'm disappointed that list
I'm a little pissed.
So small.
I think there was a category that's like other. I don't think it was other, but it did leave open the possibility that they didn't cover your gender in the 97. So
wait, so there's this one just like fill in the blank with whatever you want?
Yes.
Custom?
Exactly.
I'm a custom gender.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And you can let us know what that is, and they literally had a blank for that. So
remember now, San Francisco. Is it San Francisco that was giving out money to those that are trans that identify with one of these 97 genders?
Oh yeah, that's yes.
What's to stop you?
Because it's $1,200 a month.
Right. What's to stop you from saying, yeah, I'm whatever you want me to be. Call me whatever. If it's free cash, go for it. And now
we've
got
constitutional.
What is the thing now? Is it state of California is now jumping on board, and so it's the first state mincome thing.
Yeah, and it's a mincome for transgenders.
No, not for the state. The state is like it's a pilot
San
program.
Francisco.
I don't know, but San Francisco is definitely just for transgenders.
Yeah.
But if I live in San Francisco,
jeez, man,
I'm sure. Whatever. If you're printing the money, if you're giving it out, I'll take it. I'm a whatever the hell you want me to be. Just give me the cash.
I know. And how much fraud is going to going to be committed there? Because everybody wants a $1,200 extra payment for free.
Okay, but the program's existence is a fraud, if you ask me.
Absolutely, it is. All right, let me tell you about Bank on Yourself. We've been brainwashed into believing the only way to grow our money for retirement is to risk it in the stock market. It's just not true. You can reach your financial goals and dreams without taking any unnecessary risks. Do you really control your retirement money? If you've got a 401k or IRA or similar retirement plan, the government controls it. They decide how much you can borrow and when you got to pay it back, and you'll owe taxes and penalties for taking money out too soon or waiting too long. Well, Bank on Yourself is a better way to grow and protect your hard-earned money. This retirement plan has never had a losing year in over 160 years. Name the other program like that. You can't. Guaranteed predictable growth and retirement income. You got a tax-free retirement income, and you are in complete control. Maybe the best reason of all is that you'll know the minimum guaranteed value of your retirement savings on the day you plan to tap into them, and at every point along the way. You can get a free report with all the details on how this works, how the Bank on Yourself strategy adds guarantees, predictability, and control your financial plan. Just go to bankonyourself.com/unleashed. That's bankonyourself.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Speaking of California's launching its first state-funded guaranteed income. I think you just mentioned that. $25 million effort sends $600 to $1,200 checks to 1,975 Californians starting as soon as next summer.
It's only the start.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so that's expectant mothers and those aging out of foster care programs. That's to whom the money will be distributed.
This is where it starts. This is where it starts. Pilot program.
So you can have that and claim that you're transgender, and then you get another $1,200.
Right.
So that's like $2,400 a month.
Double dip.
Isn't that great? Wouldn't that be nice? The state's move is a tentative first step that's still smaller than what some localities have done. Los Angeles has a guaranteed income program that gives $1,000 a month to 3,200 needy individuals. No problem. Other localities have launched programs too. This month, of course, I think we mentioned San Francisco announced a program targeting the trans community. Okay. $1,200 checks.
I've got this figured out.
That's for just 55 people.
I've got it figured out.
All right.
You set up a P.O. box in all of these cities.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I totally live in L.A. Yeah, I totally live in Oakland. Yep, I live in San Francisco. Obviously, I'm a California state resident.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just sit back and let the checks roll in.
Yep.
Oh, I'm a custom gender, too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to fill in the blank there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
This society's unraveling.
You think? Yeah.
Just
it
pathetic.
sure is. It sure is. The San Francisco Police Department is submitting a proposal that would give robots the ability to use deadly force in dangerous situations.
It keeps getting better and better. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
How could you have a better idea than that? You know?
Nah, there's no other option other than it just keeps getting better. I'm so glad that Thanksgiving break's over and we're back to talking about the world because, boy, I missed it.
The police department is proposing that new policy, and it would give robots the license to kill. The draft policy, which outlines how the SFPD can use military-style weapons, states robots can be used as a deadly force option when the risk of loss of life to members of the public or officers is imminent and outweighs any other force option. Okay. All right, great.
I smell a slippery slope.
As reported by Mission Local, members of the city's Board of Supervisor Rules Committee have been reviewing the new equipment policy for several weeks. What's the holdup? They say, yes, it's a brilliant idea. You want the machines who are incapable of making logical decisions. They just act as they're programmed. And so if you decide that they can kill someone, you send them in there, what's going to happen? They're going to kill someone. Right? So it's a really good, you don't want a human there making that decision.
No.
The original version of the draft didn't include any language surrounding robots' use of deadly force until Aaron Peskin, the dean of the city's Board of Supervisors, initially added that robots shall not be used as a use of force against any person. Wow. A city council member, a supervisor member in San Francisco who has a little bit of common sense and noodled that out that might not be a really good idea to just start allowing robots to kill people.
But that didn't stick, right?
No, it did not.
Okay. See.
Because the SFPD returned the draft.
They're like, nah.
With a red line crossing out Peskin's addition. And they replaced it with the line that gives robots the authority to kill suspects.
Yeah, like we like this proposal, Councilman, but see, the thing is, who's got a red marker here?
Except we don't what you're specifying.
Yeah, we're going to
here.
mark through this here, and we're going to just write in the margin here, and it's going to say robots can kill citizens. But anyway,
it's similar to what you said.
Yeah,
except just the opposite.
It's just a little tweak.
It's a little bit opposite of what you said.
we updated it.
I can't believe they would even make the suggestion, but they have.
So, does the proposal come into the SFPD, and they're like, "So, what do you think of this?" Yeah. I just think this part where the robots aren't allowed to kill humans.
that's just egregious.
You picked up on that too?
Yeah, we can't have that.
Send it back. Draw a red line through it. Make sure they see.
And they did. So great. And just to make sure, they wrote in, the robots can kill.
Can kill.
Can kill people.
I mean, this ends well, right?
Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah. Maybe this is how all the life on Mars ended. Maybe robots just wiped out all the people. Because apparently the Mars rover just found evidence of previous life on Mars that's no longer there, by the way. You know what happened? In reality, it wasn't the police. Climate change.
Climate change got him, yeah.
Climate change got him. Killed him dead.
Climate change gets everything eventually.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I wonder how that happened. Was it our SUVs? No, because... life was ended billions of years ago. So.
That you know of. You don't know that there may have been a whole fleet of SUVs. Might have been an SUV making factory up there. The government doesn't tell us everything, Pat.
That is true. Scientists at NASA are reporting the discovery of chemical compounds and organic signatures in the Martian soil that may signal the possibility that life once existed on the now barren red planet. So they did a study on this, and these organic compounds are not themselves evidence of life, but they're the building blocks for life.
But all I want to know is, were they transgender organisms?
Yes.
They were?
Yes.
Okay.
And on...
now they matter.
On Mars, though, there were only 87, not 97. Okay. There were only 87 different genders. That wasn't enough to sustain life long term.
We have figured out what caused the end of civilization on Mars.
Yep.
They weren't inclusive enough. 87 genders as opposed to... You got to have a minimum 97. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. MIT astronomer Eva Scheller said they're not necessarily signs of life, but you want to see liquid water and organic compounds together in an environment, and they did. So there you go. Scientists speculated that Mars may have been much more hospitable to life millions or billions of years ago. And now they're not. And yet it was the climate that did it. That almost sounds like a naturally occurring thing.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.